All right, folks, welcome to the After the Show here on the Common Sense Club. I am Scott Hennen, your humble chairman, about ready to get on a plane and go to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. There are some companies down there that are investing big time in the state of North Dakota, and you know what? That investment is under attack by, are you ready for this? Washington, D.C. politicians. I know that'll come as a big shock, but they want to target oil companies. You're hearing a lot about, oh, we're going to remove tax breaks for oil and subsidies. It's all bunk. And we're going to go into the belly of the beast. At least the beast according to the oil companies. You know what? Government is absolutely attacking the one industry that's feeding the beast. It's incredible what's going on here. Anyway, we're going to dig into that for you on the Common Sense Club and the Scott Hennen Show live from Oklahoma City as I'm on assignment. Plus, I might go watch those Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Grizzlies of Memphis, kind of a fun NBA playoff game. A little recap on today's show and what we did there. It was a lot of fun. By the way, Al Carlson will also be on tomorrow. House Majority Leader Al Carlson is the first legislative leader. We'll have a chance to get his reaction to Dean Brashani, president of NDSU's 8.8% tuition hike, defying what the governor and the legislative leaders wanted. All the other institutes of higher learning said we'll cap it at 2.5%. NDSU said, nope, can't do it, got 8% out of the student leadership. Arms being twisted there. Speaking of which, so Al Carlson reacts to that on tomorrow's show. Speaking of which, Ed Schaefer was on today's show, former governor, who has, of course, long been a champion of the government living within its means, not unlike what the private sector does. I mean, Ed is probably one of those guys that just had a rock star career as a private sector guy, leader of a number of companies, took Gold Seal Sales, his father's company, to whole new heights. Those bedrock, business principles applying to government and just living with its means. And he said, it's time for North Dakotans to demand accountability from higher education in North Dakota. Plain and simple. He's very critical of bad leadership from President Brashani on this issue, saying this was not the work of a leader. They wouldn't send, for instance, their students at the business school at NDSU out to advocate for, oh, you can't cut it, we're done. He really was quite critical. It was an interesting discussion. PlainsDaily.com has, of course, some coverage of this and some reaction to it. And we also have the entire interview up at ScottHannon.com, so check it out. Al Franken's going gaga on smartphones, had a great discussion about that, which was a lot of fun. Also had Minnesota's GOP chairman Tony Sutton on the program, who did a nice job of explaining, look, we're going through a political process here. It's got to be done every 2 years. We're redrawing lines. We think this makes sense. Basically, the northern boundaries would be like the southern boundaries for the congressional districts. But expect probably the courts to settle this, and we're doing everything with the eye on how the courts settle these, and we think these will win. So interesting debate, and if they win with their lines the way they have them, Colin Peterson is in a different district. So there are a few dynamics there that'll be interesting to see what happens ultimately. Anyway, that was just a little bit of a recap. Check it all out at ScottHannon.com. We're live from Oklahoma City, tomorrow and Thursday on the Common Sense Club and the Scott Hennen Show. Thanks for watching.